Hey everybody, Brian here from TouringPlans.com. Today's video is going to be about the room request tool that we offer subscribers at TouringPlans.com. If you are not a subscriber to TouringPlans.com, you can check out everything we have to offer via the link right below me right here if you are watching on our YouTube page. And if not, you are probably already on TouringPlans.com, so you can check us out that way. The room request tool is certainly not the only thing we offer. It is just one of the perks that we give our subscribers. Now, the purpose of this video is to go through the steps on how you would do it, how you would change it, and what exactly happens after you make the request. So let's jump right into it. I am going to shrink myself right here so you can see my screen and what I am looking at. This right here is my dashboard. See, Brian's dashboard. And this is what all subscribers see when they are logged in and go to TouringPlans.com. It will redirect you to this, your dashboard page. And on here, you see all sorts of stuff, your username and everything over here, any properties you have subscriptions to, the expiration dates on those subscriptions. Here you will see all of your personalized touring plans. I have a lot of them, as you would expect. Then on the left side here, you see my trips. Now, these are all my past trips or trips that I tested. I didn't really take all of these. Now, from this dashboard, you can create a trip to Disneyland, to Universal Orlando, or to Walt Disney World. We currently only have the room request feature on Walt Disney World trips. We will send a request on your behalf to Disney with the room that you would like to be in. Do the requests always work? Unfortunately, no. That is not really up to us. It is up to the room assigners at Disney and, of course, the availability of the room. Or if somebody's already in there, they're not going to kick them out for you, and I've tried. So how do we do it? Well, step one is creating that Walt Disney World trip. So to do that, I click right here where it says Add a Trip. I will name this trip, sure, Test. I have a lot of trips named Test, oddly enough. And then I click my dates. I believe the last one I did must have been June 10th to June 15th, so let's go ahead and leave those dates in there. Walt Disney World Resort, as I said, the only one the room request tool will work on right now. And then you pick your hotel. Now, not all of these have room requests either. The Disney owned and operated hotels do, but the hotels on Disney property not owned by Disney do not. So the Swan, the Dolphin, Four Seasons, any of the Disney Springs hotels, we do not have room maps for those. But we do for all of the Disney hotels, including the Disney Vacation Club or DVC properties. So if you're staying at the Contemporary, Bay Lake Tower, All Star Sports, Pop Century, you get it. Disney hotels. I am going to pick one of the places my family and I stay quite a bit, at least when we're spending our own money, and that is Port Orleans Resort French Quarter. One other thing you will want to put in here is your reservation number in this box right here. We cannot send the request to Disney without the reservation number attached to it. I do not actually have a reservation, so I don't have a reservation number, so I am just going to not put anything in there right now to show you what happens if you don't. And click Save. And here is my trip with my name, my dates, my resort, telling me when I can reserve FastPass, April 11th in this case. That is the 60-day mark before my trip starts. And then all this helpful information, the dates, the average high and low. It's, of course, Florida, so the answer is hot and hot. What the expected crowds are going to be. And then it is allowing me to select specific parks and add plans and all that stuff, but that is going to be a video for a different day. This one is specifically about how to request the room. And to do that, you can click right here on Request Room. Now this will take you directly to the map for Port Orleans French Quarter. But it is not the only way to get there. Going up here to the More tag, you will see Resorts and Hotels, and then all the different types of hotels, moderate hotel there, Disney's Port Orleans French Quarter, or if you just click on the hotels, it will take you to our hotels page where you can scroll down to moderate here and pick Port Orleans Resort French Quarter. This takes you to all the information we have about the hotel. And then this link right up here where it says Find a Great Room will also take you to the map. Now, if you are already on your dashboard, you may as well click that Find a Room button because it would cut out those steps. But if you don't have a reservation, don't have a trip set up, just want to see what the map looks like, this is how you would get to it otherwise. And even if you go that way, the software knows that you have a reservation at Port Orleans French Quarter. So as you're looking at a room, you will still be able to add it to your trip, and I will show you all that. So here is the map. Obviously the buildings here are numbered. If you hover over them, they will turn this kind of pinkish shade right there. Nothing else will do that. It will show you bus stops right here at French Quarter. There is only one bus stop, so it is right there. Parking lots, of course, right there. This down here is the boat dock right next to the pool. This big dark building right there, as you can see, is the lobby and check-in area. Also at French Quarter, the food court area. If we were to go to a more complicated hotel, let's say Port Orleans Riverside here, and look at the map for that one, you see a lot more buildings. Again, lobby, check-in, and you see all 4 bus stops marked around the edge here. All the different parking lots, all the buildings, the pools, everything is marked. So back to French Quarter here, and on the left side you have the things you can filter by type. This one is very important because if you've already booked the room, you have booked a certain type of room. Disney does not like it when you try to request a room that is more expensive than the one you paid for, or honestly a different type at all than the one you paid for. There gets to be some confusion. Even if you want to downgrade, they generally won't do it. So you just won't get the request you asked for if you pick the wrong room type. Disney does like to change its room classifications quite often. In fact, I would say maddeningly often. And sometimes we are a little bit slow updating our maps. So let's say you have booked a water view. Well, water view isn't one of these choices here. We are pool view and river view, but there isn't one specifically called a water view. What do? I would pick one that you think might be the right one, then explain in a note. And I will explain how to leave that note in just a second. But in this case, let's say I booked a garden view with 2 queen beds, which does tend to be what I end up booking there. You can choose how close you want to be to the lobby, how close you want to be to the bus stop, what floor you want, any of that. I'm actually going to leave all of that because I can see all of that on the map anyway. Room type I always choose. So let's show my matching rooms down here. As you can see, there are matching rooms in all the buildings. Now, if you want to filter by walking distance to the lobby or to transportation or anything like that, feel free. It does all work very well. Personally, I like to just look at the map and say, oh, well, I can see buildings 4 and 3 are close to the lobby. That's all I really need. But if you're having trouble deciding where the lobby is or where the bus stops are, that could be very helpful. Now, when I am at Port Orleans French Quarter, my favorite building, and maybe I shouldn't be telling you this in case I'm there and you all have taken my rooms, but right here, Building 4. So I'm going to click on that, and now you will see Building 4 up close and the rooms in red that meet my criteria of garden view 2 queen bed. Now pay attention to the orientation of the map because it does change sometimes. Just the shape of the building doesn't always fit one way or the other. So if I click up here and go back to the resort map, north is off this way, but when I click on the building, north is a little bit up that way. So this one didn't actually rotate that much, but just pay attention to that. You can see the edge right here. This darker gray building, that is the edge of the lobby. This is actually the food court side at Port Orleans French Quarter. The bus stop would actually be straight down here. And one of the rooms I really like here is this one right here on the corner. And when I click on it, it opens this, which is the view from the window of the room. And I am looking out into this lovely grassy area with a fountain that is kind of blocked by a tree right there. Now let's say I want to request this room. You will notice up here, right on the top in yellow, click here to make a special request for your upcoming test trip. See, I told you it knew. Down here you will see alternate pictures. In this case, there's another picture kind of off the side here. And this being a corner room, may be one of the rooms that has 2 windows, which maybe is why this one is kind of facing sideways. So let's say I want to request that. I click here. It will jump me back to my dashboard where you will see right here, requesting room 4135. Remember how I didn't put the reservation number in there? Now it's a problem. That is what this big orange thing that says, in order for room request to be sent, you must configure fax. Now, that room request button has been replaced by this configure fax button. And as I said before, I must put in my name and reservation number. And remember how I mentioned that note? This is also where you would make that note. Click that configure fax button, and right down here you can add special requests. So, if you are traveling with another party and would like to be near them, this is where you tell Disney that. If you have somebody that has difficulty with steps, you can put that in there. If you could not find the right room type, this is where I would suggest putting that in, and put something like, I have reserved a water room. I would like to be in the closest available room to the one requested. I have found in the past that that does work pretty well. If you basically admit, okay, this might not be the right room type, but I would like to be near this location, that does work. The room assigners will take that into account. After you put in your reservation number and whatnot, you save and go back, and I forgot to put my name in it, so it's still telling me that, but that's not important. Now, what happens if you decide, you know what, I don't want that room, I want a different room? Well, it kind of depends when you're deciding that, because here's what happens. 5 days before the start of your trip is when we send the fax, and yes, it's a fax that goes to your hotel, in this case, Port Orleans French Quarter. So as long as you are outside of that 5-day period, you can change the room as many times as you want. Inside of 5 days, that's trickier. You would probably have to call the hotel and try to tell them about it, because we only send the fax one time. We try not to annoy them any more than we already are. And that one time happens 5 days before your trip. But I have many, many days before my trip, and I want to change that room. So what am I going to do? I'm going to click that room number again. Then if I just want to change it by, say, 1, let's say I don't want to be looking at this tree for some reason. So let's go up. Down here on the bottom, you can see a navigation. We can go up, left, right, down, if applicable. I'm going to go up to the 2nd floor. Let's see if this view gets any better. And, well, this is still kind of this out of the side window view. But this first one, nope, still a tree in my way. So I'm going to take one room to the left here. And there we go. That is a nice shady view. I can see that fountain. But you know what? I don't even want to be in this building anymore. I want to try something new. So I will just close this window right here, and I am back to the map. Pick my garden view to Queen Room. And now go for something prettier. This courtyard back here is always my favorite. I'm going to go over to building 2. Now notice this one is basically oriented the same way. The pool is kind of right behind here. Once again, I'm going to go up to floor 2. And let's try to get a good view of that fountain. Let's pick one right in here. Still a little blocked by a tree. Let's shimmy one to the right. And there we go. Look at that. Beautiful. Love that fountain. Love how they change out the flowers here. This is the room I've decided I want now. You will notice up here, it still has that click here note, but also the note that I currently have, room 4135. So it is telling me if I click here, I will overwrite that. And that is exactly what I want to do. So I click there. Now we go back to my dashboard. Now it is requesting room to 210. 5 days before my trip, my fax will be sent. And then when I check in, hopefully I will have the room I requested. Now, one of the questions we get all the time is, can I do the online check-in through Disney if I have already done this? The answer is yes, you can, with a caveat. I would suggest you not pick a room through them. So they will give you options many times like close to transportation, close to lobby, things like that. Do not select any of those, because those could possibly overwrite anything that we send through them. But you can do the online check-in, so you can skip the counter. Absolutely, I highly recommend it. It is much easier than having to go and wait at check-in. Just don't select any of the room request features within the online check-in, and you will be absolutely fine. And that is it. I am all ready for my trip that I sadly now have to delete because I'm not really going on it, but you can. But hopefully you are, and hopefully you have very good luck with your room request. Thank you very much for watching, and be excellent to each other.